managing the fire. We had extreme winds pushing the fire. You may have seen the smoke and ash fallout if you were anywhere in the area. It was very impressive. And it did lay over, and we got an invested spot across Highway 14, south of Highway 14. It's in the area of the Big South trailhead, kind of around Poudre Falls. They tried with aircraft, helicopters to catch that spot and were unable to be successful, again due to the extreme fire, multi-tree torching, kind of crown-driven fire. So as of this morning, that fire is securely invested on the opposite side of the road. And so that has forced us to really look at other parts that we can make a stand. So I want to talk a little bit about indirect fire line. Because of the fire behavior that we're seeing on this fire, we cannot take a traditional approach where you have firefighters go in and construct a hand line and then dig and chainsaw out and get the fuel out of the way. It's just too extreme and too dangerous. We have continuous fuel all over the range up there. So we're having to step back and look for areas of opportunity where we can make a stand on fuel changes, so where it gets out of the conifer, and then actually use equipment to try and put buffers in there that are much bigger than just a hand line. What we saw with the weather yesterday was, even though we had a river and a highway, it was still not enough to prevent the spread of the fire across that feature. So that's what we're looking to do. We're looking for areas of opportunity north of the fire as a priority to protect the communities up north. And we also have to deal with some of the communities that are down here in the Pingree Park area. This will be a long duration fire, so please be prepared for that. We saw Hyde Park type fire progression yesterday. So this is, for folks that were around for that, it's similar in that. And our goal is to keep public and our firefighters as safe as possible. So that's an update on the fire. We didn't see as much growth today. I think we're just under 6,000 acres as of 10:30 this morning, but it's a changing environment out there. And based on the weather, we're going to see large fire growth days as this fire progresses. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Michael Hayden, Incident Commander, Rocky Mountain Blue Team. So thus far, we've heard weather, we've heard operations. For those that live in Fort Collins and Laramie and Walden and anywhere in the area, why we're here is very obvious. Folks can look out and see a very large smoke column. The smoke is impacting us all the way up and down the Front Range. The smoke is going to be part of our lives for a while. Let's really speak to why the incident management team is here in the first place. Now, with that said, when an incident management team is brought in, we're brought in for a few specific reasons. Most importantly, we're brought in by the agency that's looking after the lands in our area. In this case, that's the United States Forest Service, and they're the ones that ordered us and are helping getting us going and supporting us all the way. But it goes much deeper than that. We work for all of you. We work for the local community. We work with our partners and the state, federal, county, local. There's an outpouring of help on all these fires, and it's greatly appreciated. But most importantly, it needs to be coordinated. So with that said, the fire up on the hill that we just heard about, up here, it's right out in a wonderful recreation area. That's part of the reason a lot of people live here. They like to be able to go up into the mountains, see these beautiful places, recreate, have a cabin, do all the things we like to do. But much more than recreation and natural resources, we've got a large component of utilities. The water that comes out of those hills is drinking water for millions. Electricity to run the communities and the way we live. There's gas lines, there's other utilities and critical infrastructure. So what a team brings is we bring a handful of staff that work in those exact areas. I'd be remiss if I didn't go right back to the operational component, because let's face it, they're the ones out there trying to put this puzzle together and find the right time and the right place to apply energy, effort, and resources to potentially stop, turn, alter the course of the fire. Of course, Mother Nature is first and foremost for firefighting. We get a break in the weather, we get some moisture, things change quickly. But an incident management team brings some key components. First of all, we're talking to all of you. Our public information, providing that information, is a critical part of what we do. And it's something that all teams take very seriously. Next is liaisons. They're here to talk to the people that can help change the course of this fire. There are local stakeholders, as I mentioned, people handling water, people doing guide services, law enforcement, emergency services, far too many to list. But working with those and coordinating our efforts is what all of you deserve. Next, we are doing the things that aren't quite as exciting. That's making sure people are getting paid as needed, or logistical needs are being met. People need to be fed, we need equipment, fuel, things of that nature. So with all of that, teams come and we put our heart and soul into helping everyone here. Lastly, values. The partnerships that are traded here will last into the future. There will be changes up on the hill and around that fire, and some of them won't initially be positive. But our goal is to change them into chances for all of us to work together and find a silver lining in all these different situations. With that said, the fire is going to be here a long time, but we can minimize its impacts and we can use what's available. Right now, transparency. I'm going to be completely honest with everyone out there. If you've been watching the news, you've seen there's several other fires in our state. We have the Pine Gulch fire, the Grizzly fire, and the Williams fire right now, eating up resources that all of us want to stop fire progression and growth. With that said, we are very careful how we go about asking for it and how we share them. So being transparent, we're trying to bring in as much as we can to help everyone out, but we're also fighting fires on many different fronts. Thank you for the chance to speak with all of you. Have a nice evening.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
You want to come on this side? Oh yeah. This is amazing.
You want to spin you up?
Yeah, actually.
You look like an actual, like a doll.
A doll?
Yeah, a real doll.
Oh my gosh, do you mind if I sit here?